Good morning everyone, today we're checking out a brand new video from TrueGreen7 of 4 artists redesigning each other's Pokemon, episode 2. Let's hop in, because this is about a 50-minute episode.
Hey guys, Ron here, and almost a year ago I invited some Fakemon artists and we redesigned each other's Pokemon. And now I'm doing it again. You can't stop me. Umbreon Libris, Fruppy Art, and the Sterninator know what they signed up for, so don't feel bad for them. Each person will have to pick 3
It has been about a year, so that's fine.
Pokemon, one from each of the other artists' roster, to redesign. If you're new to the channel, make sure to check out all the other Fakemon videos and Pokemon art challenges we do, and make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see a part 3. Consider becoming a patron or pressing the join button to become a member, and support the channel so we can afford to do more huge collabs like this. But before we begin, I want to once again talk about today's sponsor, Raycon. For pretty much a whole year now, I've been telling everybody about Raycon's everyday earbuds and how they offer the same audio capabilities as the bigger name brand companies for half the price. I even made an entire line of Pokemon based on Raycon's products. Why do I go above and beyond for them? Because the secret is, Mr. Raycon is my father, and my father deserves the best gosh darn earbuds around. Now, behind the scenes, I've been gifting my beloved family Raycon earbuds, and they cannot stop thanking me. I tried to ask them to come onto the sponsored segment to talk about how much they love the 32-hour battery life, multi-point connectivity, vibrant colors, and amazing cases. But they had their everyday earbuds on and couldn't hear my request over the active noise cancellation. And not only do they look great, but they support wireless charging, so you don't even have to take the protective cover off to get 90 minutes of battery in just 10 minutes of charging using their quick charge function. They also have customizable sound profiles, touch features, and I said touch features, and a complimentary set of different sized ear gels. I can't hear you. I got the active noise cancellation on and don't have any hands to turn it off. How'd you put the earbuds on if... Never mind.
Yeah, that's
the point is, with all these features, the everyday earbuds are perfect for my daily walks. So if you guys watching finally want to get a hold of some earbuds at half the usual price of other brands you know, while still boasting more features than those other earbuds, click the link in the description and go to buyraycon.com/truegreen7 to show your loved ones a bit of love and get 15% off your Raycon purchase site-wide. And with their 30-day happiness guarantee, there is absolutely no reason to not try out at least one Raycon product. I guess we're literally just starting with Gabe.
Cool.
Fruppy, what's up?
Go.
I'm going to start out with the redesign that I did for Stern.
Ooh.
I don't know how you other dorks...
Oh, so we aren't seeing the mons that they were before. We're just going straight into the redesign.
But like finding something to redesign of Stern's was very difficult. I had to go way back. The Pokemon that I chose, something that you did for like an October Fakemon challenge thing.
What is that?
Yeah, like way back.
Do you remember what year?
No.
I'm asking Stern, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for asking. No.
Thank you for asking. No.
But this is based on Monica from Doki Doki Literature Club.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, which I was not familiar with. I totally missed that game when it came out. Yeah. So I did a bunch of research on what's going on. What is this?
Let me cover my ass here for a sec. Yeah, this was for an Inktober, and I think it was one that I was very much like Fruppy. I have no idea what this thing is, and I have 8 hours to come up with something.
Was this like a prompt then?
It was.
There's Monica. She's weird. She's inside a video game. She knows that she's inside a video game. That's kind of her thing.
Yeah.
And she can control things. So you had the psychic type. You had the steel type. Perfect. I kept those.
Steel, yeah.
I added this kind of third eye motif, and then I also took the wires that were on this.
Sorry about that. We're back.
And I more intentionally attach them to the kind of stomach and also the neck, just because that game has some pretty gruesome moments that revolve around violence to those areas for other characters.
Doki Doki Literature, I have trouble with that word. And the reading club, I'll just call it, is definitely surprisingly dark.
Whoa!
Oh, that's the redesign.
What you had already worked perfectly, where she gets jealous and she uses her powers to erase your memories of other people, which is perfect for Monica.
Man, that rendering is sweet.
That is amazing. I love how you combined the pigtails.
That is good.
Because it gives that idea of entrails and for me at least, whenever I get the idea of body horror, I'm how do you mix this with Pokemon? Because Pokemon, it doesn't really fit that vibe, that energy. But man, you nailed it. I dig this so much.
I rarely see Pokemon that are straight up looking at the camera, symmetrical, facing forward like that. but it works so much with like a Monica-inspired Pokemon,
collecting game.
and obviously even just with
Yeah.
Oh,
the
no,
world.
wait. Yeah, MonoWiki believes itself to be an entity existing only in some sort of creature collecting game. Oh,
Pokemon. It's really cool.
I
Part of what makes
like that a
character
lot.
So unsettling is
That
that,
is Monica.
unlike everyone else with dynamic poses, she like faces you straight on at all times, pretty much.
I really like how you've kind of simplified the design. You made it simpler, but like really much more striking. So all of
Yeah.
the things that were important to be there,
surprising.
you kept, but
Wow.
like brought them out even more.
Every element that the original has is there. It's just reconfigured completely differently.
I saw when you had like the table, I was like, oh, there's UB inspiration, and immediately I was like, well, yeah, of course.
Ultra
I
Beast.
was a fool to think otherwise.
I feel like the original was more like Western, cartoony, while the redesign
Yeah.
is slightly more, anime like.
Oh
I
yeah,
love
like
the
that's something
gradients.
you'd see
I'm always
in
so
Blood
scared of
Sea.
incorporating gradients, but I feel like you did it in such a Pokemon-esque style that it's definitely something I'm looking at and I'm studying, and I'm like, so this is how we do it, huh?
Well, honestly, inspired by a lot of your work is why I've started to introduce more of it. So
It does look like it's designed by like Sterninator. Like maybe you guys have relatively similar art styles.
Don't
Hey, that
downplay
could be a
Fuku.
compliment. Depending on how you take
The
it.
hair kind of looks like a brain.
I also really like that she does not have arms.
I love when Pokemon have arms that aren't their arms. Eraser is just talking like a mind eraser, or like cause it's a little pink, so you kind of think of like an eraser that
Could be both.
erases pencils.
oh yeah, like Mind Eraser, but I do love the pink does work for pencil too.
I will say I didn't expect to see old artwork of mine brought up and to feel immediately embarrassed.
I'm sorry.
That's what this video is.
I was like, oh no!
Hey, one good thing about feeling embarrassed though, it means that you do know you have improved.
And the original is not even bad, but it's like bad for Stern is still very good. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
I guess it's time for a Libris.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
I think I will begin with Fruipies.
Ominous.
Basically, for all three of you, I went as far back
Okay, so yeah, 4 people, each of them took a 4 mon from the other, redrew them, so should have a total of 12.
as I could to find something.
Oh wow.
This is literally from the
Yeah,
first
12.
episode of Pokemon Amber. It is the Fire Starter.
Yes, the starters for that Pokemon Amber series, they
Oh.
have rough theming of like fight or flight or freeze. So he was the flight one, so he's fast. It's not a super deep
Okay.
thematic reasoning.
Fight, freeze.
But the fire one, especially
like
the
a
starter,
combo
is
move.
definitely the weakest. So I'm actually very happy that you picked this one. Yeah.
Cool.
Honestly, I loved all of the starters. But you're right. Fleetwee itself, I felt was a little bit weak because it doesn't have that kind of starter appeal. I feel like its proportions aren't like not quite there. Like head needs to be a little bigger, eyes need to be a little bigger, especially for like a modern starter design. I think you were trying to make it look a little scared. That does not come across
Yeah, it
with
doesn't look
But there's
scared.
another aspect
Looks
to this as
excited.
well,
Maybe happy.
in that this Pokemon has a different form.
Oh.
That's right.
Ooh.
It does. Uh-huh.
What?
Okay, so the
Okay.
starters in this region, they get alternate forms that are like spliced. They're called spliced forms. It's deep in like Jurassic Park lore. So in Jurassic World, when you get these weird hybrid monster
Oh.
dinosaurs. So instead of a more realistic feathered theropod, we have something with the spliced form that is closer to like the naked Jurassic
movie.
Park Velociraptor.
To be fair, I was already getting dinosaur from the original.
I felt that these two
Okay,
designs
okay.
were too different to be forms of the same Pokemon. Here is the first one, the original Fire Starter.
Oh.
Oh
look at
my
that.
god. I love him. I love his little arms up over his
Fleetwee.
head.
Oh, I'm glad that came across as arms because I had someone tell me that it looked like ears at some point, and I was like, it's too late.
Oh, I see it.
No, it's feathery arms.
Okay,
yeah,
I
yeah,
can see
got
it
it.
as
That's
both.
great.
I wanted to really make it look like it's running away scared.
It's crazy how the
Now
colors
it
very
looks
much
scaled.
scream starter, like Fire Starter.
At first I had colors that were closer to Fruity's original, but then because I changed the color of the beak, then it looked like Psyduck. And so I was like, okay, I'll just flip the colors, and then with the
Yeah.
cream beak and the orange body, then it looked like Torchic. So
Yeah,
And then it
I
became
was scared
torching,
that it was
yeah.
gonna look like torching, but no, you did it well. What's crazy is that no,
so
these
many
really is the
colors.
proportions of what a starter would have, with a big head, the tail is way smaller.
So then there was the challenge of trying to make the second form work equally well.
That definitely
Oh.
works. Whoa.
Oh.
Spice.
No, that's perfect.
What's
Slice.
crazy is that, like, I guess since
Oh,
you
look at the shiny.
design Pokemon less frequently than
That's
we
actually
do,
kind of
your art
clever.
style basically is different every time you present something to me. So I never
is-
know what I'm gonna
that
get.
is true.
And this is a
That is true.
really nice art style.
That stripe on the eye, I was like, it's a really cool design. I'm just curious where it came from. And then when you pop up the second one, I was like, oh, because it makes a lot of sense on the Raptor side, and it's a carryover into that other design. Oh, that's wonderful. That's beautiful. That works. I love that.
You know, because it's supposed to be a speedy boy, some speed lines were
Sticky
nice.
hole.
I also love that their eyes are swapped color.
Ooh.
Also, this just demonstrates like the importance
Yeah,
of
those shinies are also the colors.
a dynamic
Nice.
pose that communicates personality.
Yeah.
Blaze
I
and
appreciate
flame
that
body.
because
Huh,
I know that
okay.
I struggle with drawing dynamic poses.
Same.
Like I know that
Bold
very often my Pokemon
Huh.
have very static poses. So this was
Interesting move
something I had to work
selection,
on.
though.
The redesign successfully looks like a proto bird. It very much is the best fusion of bird and dinosaur. Guess it's my turn. I'll
All
pick
right.
Libris. We're gonna go to
What they made, man?
something he made at least more than a year ago, I would assume. I decided to redesign Marmaniacs.
Oh,
Ooh,
this was
okay.
actually one where Fruity was one of the guests.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what you do, Ron, but I love Marmaniacs.
Yeah,
so, okay.
concept-wise, it's perfect. Even design-wise, it's not like
Even I
bad
kind
or
of like
anything.
it. Kind of
evolves
nice.
from Marmates, which is actually like very important to see the pre-evolve form for this. Marmates, you did a
Okay.
very good job in terms of. I think every element is necessary. While the evolve form, I think it's slightly too much
Like
to
it went
register.
crazy.
Too many personalities. But again, that's kind of the point, that this is just too much for this guy to handle, right? But the number one thing I thought was that like the evolve form is basically just the original, but more of these
But
ghosts,
more, yeah,
basically.
it's-
But what if we also evolve?
It's Diglett the Doug Trio.
You know, the vibe made it basically scarier. You know, here is my version of Marmaniacs.
Oh,
Ooh, okay.
Now they're very much me.
Now, when you said scary, I was expecting more like horror and terror, like I think the towering over, the Marmate, excuse me, and they want to like end it or something. Wasn't expecting this.
Maniacs.
They
yeah,
look so
no
happy
kidding.
and friendly.
I love that he's still sad.
Yeah, I had to make sure that that
Yeah,
was still
yeah,
a thing.
Yeah, he's stressed. Yeah.
No, I think you did a great job with kind of simplifying the three spirits.
I thought that-
just kind of combining them into a mass. That's great.
I guess the hands were slightly
It is still
unnecessary.
kind of
They were
good.
good, like they were good in expressing their expressions and their personalities, but like I just decided to just do that with their faces, I guess.
Something I like is that it feels like in the original, it's like three guys bullying this other guy. Like they're actively, purposefully causing harm. Whereas Ron's iteration of this character, this Pokemon, comes across as, hey, this is a bad thing happening to this guy, but it's no one's fault.
It didn't feel like they were bullying
Yeah.
me. I thought they were just like doing their own thing, and this guy's just overreacting. like they're just laughing,
Like
and pointing at
almost
things, and like
stimulating.
having a
Too
good time.
much.
While this guy's
Too
like,
much.
no, don't stop. So in this one, it's like, nah, this guy. It's clearly these are like, I guess, malevolent spirits. They very much look like they want to do harm instead of just hang out.
Our
Yeah.
therapists need to talk, because this Pokemon feels like a Rorschach's test where it's like, they're being mean, like someone's dad. And Ron's like, no, I see it as this.
It has been about 2 years, I think. But if I remember correctly, the idea was that it kind of makes its own friend, so it has that ghost because it just like needs companionship.
Oh, it
But
literally
then
created
Marmaniacs is just
this
like
bit.
there's too
Okay.
many people, so it's like socially overwhelmed, and
Yeah.
it like literally cannot take time away from these people. So it's not so much that they were bullying.
Like if you were to take an introvert and put them in a place where there are just way too many people they don't know or
it
haven't
was
met.
just like
and they have
socially
no one to
overwhelmed.
help.
But that does still feel like, as a concept, that it's a less of a Pokemon concept, like something that Game Freak would actually do. Whereas I feel like in your version, that does it feels more convincing because you can still imagine it
Ghost
like moving
rodent.
around. Whereas on mine, it would be more like a Wug Trio, like something that wouldn't be able to move very well.
Because I thought the original was slightly busy, I made sure to make things cohesive. Make sure that the spirits and the
I do like that
base
shiny.
form
That
have a
green
lot
is
of things in
very
common that are
nice.
just inverses of each other, like the eyes, the skull patterns, which again you already have. But
Yeah, I love what you did with the faces. That they just kind of look like floating masks.
yeah,
That's my
But
thought
that-
as well.
Yeah, that looks awesome.
mine they are basically the tail instead of also having a tail, like a rib cage
Oh,
and
they
spine
are
kind of
the
pattern on the
tail.
back, just to make
Okay.
it look more ghosty.
Oh, yeah, I was seeing that as them kind of almost like breaking out of the original hamster.
I feel too like with the heads feeling like almost separate, where it feels almost like the heads are not part of this gaseous form, or they are, but they're a different material. I'd love to see like an extra form
the
where like one of the
miasma.
heads goes on to the quote unquote missing part of the Marmite's head, and it becomes like it's like self-aware form.
That's very interesting. They could have a split evolution like that. That's basically what they are.
Yeah.
Just floating skulls. And I guess that means it's
All
the
right.
Storminator's turn.
Me, I
Hey,
am
here we
going
go.
to go
Clap,
with
clap,
a
clap, clap,
person
clap.
who has not yet had one of their Pokemon shared, which I want to ask, Ron, if you remember
I remember everything.
this. Do you remember this little friend?
Yeah!
Skepticum?
So that's definitely one that I've wanted to redesign for a long time, so I'm glad you're doing it.
So I'd better
Huh.
do a good job.
Alright.
I
Skepticum.
redesign. I didn't.
Well, I looked at it. One of the first things I thought was like very cool designs and very interesting like areas of expression here. But ultimately, it feels like a crap.
I'm sorry, this hermit crab is reminding me so much of that one from Shark Tales. You know, the one I had said to Oscar, and I'm a financial advisor. If you've never seen Shark Tale, go check it out. It's actually a pretty good Will Smith movie.
Crab wearing a cone.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe that's the idea.
Wait,
Back
is it
then I
Will-
was like,
yes, it
I
is
have
Will
the
Smith.
concept. Let me just draw it. I don't
Got
care if
for
it
a
looks
second.
good. Basically, like it's a hermit crab.
Right.
Hermit crab with a cone. That's already a good enough concept. I'm not going to spend time on it for some reason. I don't know.
You're like, Pokemon is two ideas mashed together and nothing else. So we'll just do that. So I went ahead and I expanded and I constructed and I brought in these pieces to make something that felt a little bit more, hopefully more cohesive to the idea. Not
Oh,
too
yeah?
far from the result, but I feel like it.
Yes.
I feel like
Oh, it's got like a build. It looks okay. Yeah, I get this is meant to be construction, but this one looks like it's some kind of mad wizard.
yeah, kind of hard to tell at this pose, but tend to be two different types of claws. One is like a clamp and one is a digger.
Oh.
Constructing.
Okay, yeah, no, I can see. This one has the actual like thumb that you would use for gripping. This one, even though we can't see the back side of it, this would be the one that would be like scooping. Like that would be put out there and pulled back.
Construction, so
a
it makes
backhoe.
sense that it would hide itself in these construction sites, shoe cobbler-esque. Like you wake up and it's like, oh, this area's been done, but maybe done poorly, like by someone who has claws for hands.
I
Like
can
it's
see
still
that.
completed. One of the things that I
Who
really
told
wanted
Krabby
to
to
do with
walk?
this was I love the mustache, so I brought that in with the beard to make the beard almost feel like a shovel type look too.
It does
so
feel
it can
like a
dig
shovel.
itself underground using its face to hide under the cone. But using that almost to make it feel like a foreman, like it's the old guard of the construction crew.
Yes. I love how
And,
it's literally the same thing. It's literally the same exact Pokemon, but like every single aspect is just better.
It's good.
Oh well, thank you.
It's a
I
redesign
love
for
that
you.
face.
Yeah. Oh, I looked and I was like, one of these eyes is making an expression, and I was like, I don't understand why the expression, but I want to keep it. I
don't
noticed
know
that in
why,
yours it's a
but
pure
yes.
water type, but I thought, well, if I want to make it construction-y, I want to add something to it. So I don't know if I broke the rules by adding more aspect.
Nah,
of
you
this.
needed to. I don't know why it was just pure water type. Because again, it didn't have the construction aspect in the beginning, and which again was what I would have done if I were to redesign it. Because like I guess again back then I wasn't thinking of like the cool threads. This one is how you do it.
Yeah, this one was a ton of fun. This
is
is
really
from
just
I believe
good.
6 years ago.
Yeah.
I literally went into your videos, went to playlist, said organized by oldest, and found this, which I think is like episode 2 or 3 of your first Let's Make a Pokemon videos.
What's funny
Oh,
is that yeah,
wow.
the first like where I go on a walk and design from what I what I see on the walk, like from the first episode, I was seeing these cones, and I'm like, I want to make a hermit crab cone Pokemon, and it wasn't until I think like the 4th episode that I made it. But this was literally
There
the
it
first
is.
few months
Skepticum.
of me making art on my channel, and I did kind of forget about it. I guess that's why I didn't redesign it. That video did amazingly, while a video like this one, like the one that we're literally recording right now with these
Yeah.
literally amazing designs, like designs that are like probably 5 times better than the originals, it's gonna have 5 times less views. So it's like it's
Oh
crazy. How, like,
boy.
back then, me making mediocre art can get like 1 billion views, while us making this like these perfect Fakemon, the video's just gonna do average, you know?
I know.
Yeah,
for
that
me,
would
I'm
make
gonna have
sense.
1 million people come at me for this because they're like, every third video that Stern does or is in,
Now, I'm actually curious about that ability, funnel. What does that mean?
he makes a crab. And so I know I'm gonna have people come at me, and I'm getting ahead of it now. Please don't cut this out.
People,
I want them to be aware that I know.
people.
I don't know if it's the sun coming through on your render of it, or if it's the reflective on the cone. But I love the idea of almost hiding in place. You're literally hiding under something that is designed so that everyone can see it.
Oh, that is
thought of
actually
that.
Why
brilliant.
does the cone look like it's glowing so much? The cones that I've seen, they don't have lights inside of them.
Back then I loved putting lens flares in my videos, but also it does
okay.
it does make sense that it's like, yes, the sun reflecting off the reflective part of the
Yeah.
thing, but I like how yours is it's glowing, which is again much
This is
better.
actually
And I
better
even
in a
made
way.
the legs the same color as the cone. Because I
Yeah.
thought about that scene in Toy Story where they're hiding under the cones, and I thought maybe if it's moving around,
Duck! I said duck!
the bottom's the same color as the
Oh,
top.
I like
it must
that
just be
movie.
a regular cone.
It's a good one.
It was dumb of me to do the cone orange on the top of the legs instead of the bottom in the original. What I love is the addition of the black, which kind of makes it look like asphalt.
Oh, yeah.
And it just
a
ties it
little,
all together.
A little.
Makes it feel like a city Pokemon.
Oh, thank you. This one was a ton of fun.
But because the eye no longer lines up right
I wonder
before it
what's
kind of
gonna be
lined up with the
next.
edge of the cone.
Oh yeah, it's very bad.
So at first glance, you're like, is that behind the cone? And just by kind of repositioning things, yeah, it's like it's not really a redesign, but it's making sure that the render is communicating what's going. Yeah, good.
That is
What
so
is even
good.
up with like
Yeah.
I guess like the angle of the cone, because like from that angle we should be seeing the underside of the cone, like in the redesign, but in the original you don't.
He's cool. He's wearing the cone sideways. I don't know if there is a sideways cone, but
How do you
know,
wear it
y-
sideways?
Yeah, he's like tilting it.
Okay, so
Ooh,
next
here we go.
up,
Round
I'm
2.
gonna be redoing one of Ron's. actually.
Oh yeah.
Ooh,
Okay, cool.
double
Yeah, yeah.
Ron.
Okay, so Ron, do you remember this spooky boy?
Nice.
Ooh.
Yes,
I don't know it, but I like it. Sparktor and Jotero.
from a thumbnail, actually. Ooh, yes.
Yeah, again, that was a very significant video because like it was the first video where I changed the thumbnail and it did better because of that change in thumbnail.
I like him for the most part.
Nice.
There's a couple things. He feels a little flat in his body.
Yeah, very
He
much.
feels like he kind of turns into a sheet a little bit. And also
It is
his
kind of
fingies
sheepish.
are like, the proportions feel weird on his hands
Yeah.
to me. And then I
have
kind
to, I
of
have
did
to
more.
ask, what is it?
So
Oh, yeah!
this is from a
Hold on. Before he actually explains, I'm gonna guess that this guy is partly inspired, not completely, by the ghost creature from Scooby-Doo Cyber Chase.
Go ahead, Ron.
where
If you don't know what I'm talking
this
about.
is the first.
I mean this guy, the Phantom Virus. And when you look at it, it's something. It is pretty damn close.
Video where I turned phobias into Pokemon, and this one
phobias.
is the phobia
Down.
is I guess my personal phobia of like white gaunt bodies moving in weird ways in in the night. So I combined that with like electricity to
Damn,
make it
I
like a
was
zombie
wrong.
that moves like in ways that a body shouldn't. Like imagine like it was
Okay, we're gonna keep the video going, but I'm gonna apologize if you hear any noise. I'm kind of having dinner at the same time as recording this. Sorry.
and that's how it moves.
Right.
I hate just human-like creatures that move in unhuman-like ways. So that's what this is.
Ron's never
Human
going to come
movement,
to
not
visit
like a
me. It's
human,
just what
okay.
I found out.
I went ahead and redid the pre-evolution.
Aw.
Just because I could. It's simple enough
so
that I just
cute.
redid him.
I like the hollow eyes.
Yeah, so I was taking a look at other ghost types. He's ghost electric. I wanted a slightly more
damn.
dynamic pose and to convey the corpseness that was going on with
That's
your
good.
theming.
I
Now,
kinda
Ron,
like this
are
a
you
lot more.
okay?
Is this too spooky for you? You can say,
I mean, then again, that's the whole point of literally a redesign.
hey,
I'm kind of petrified.
this is the redesigned Joltear.
Yo!
I may have gone too far. Like I thought before, the design was
it
a
has
little
again
too
literally
plain.
everything that the original
That
has.
is perfect, man.
Because again, the original had nothing. So it's like you just interpreted everything in a more fleshed out way.
Like imagine you're walking around in the Pokemon world and you see that in the distance.
Well, it was messed
night.
up The Dex entry that you wrote, Ron, is like it reanimates corpses and moves them
Oh
like
my-
a puppet master, which is like that's pretty messed up
Jeez,
for
that
a
is
Pokemon.
something.
Yeah.
I love the shiny colors, and the fact that I had not noticed, I had not like made that connection before, but the fact that it looks more like a flayed body actually makes me like it more.
Oh,
looks
that
like
is
no,
actually
a
clever.
burnt body that was electrocuted. Like,
No, I love it.
again, it's like you took everything that the original had and just amped it up. That's a pun
And just,
on electricity.
yeah,
by the
made
way.
it more.
But
Wait.
no, because like everything is just more interesting. Again, the hands, it's the same concept. It's just how you would design the hands if it was done by a better artist. The head, I mean, like the head was already supposed to be like not skull-like, but it was supposed to be, you know, zombie-like, and this is
Yeah.
literally that. Every single
Like human
I
edge.
think the patterns are perfect. I really like the patterns. That's the problem with the original, where it's like the whole point is that it's supposed to be like moving erratically, but the Thunderbolt body is very like uniform and like just traditional Thunderbolt silhouette.
Yeah.
While this one, it looks like it would be moving like twisted and erratically, because the Thunderbolt is like not symmetrical. You know, it's like very random, which is what a Thunderbolt should be. And there's, I think,
Oh, it's like Paper Jam Dipple.
maybe it wasn't unintentional, but the negative space of the ribs kind of look like those old-timey light bulbs in like
That's
science.
exactly what I was thinking.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, that was not intentional, but I'm glad it reads in a cool way.
I feel like you could look at this design for hours and constantly find something new and interesting, these little hidden Easter eggs, like those fuse style lights or the electrical negative shading there. Like it's so interesting and detailed.
I guess back then I was scared to do any gradients because I felt like that's not a thing Pokemon did. Like this was before like Dragon Balls, for example. I designed that, but now that
Yeah,
we have
before
precedent,
Dragon Ball.
I would
Dragon
totally-
Ball.
yeah, this makes total sense.
Well, and I just want to thank you for coming up with
No, Dragon Ball's whole thing is technically that it's a gradient. It just trails out of existence because
just
it's a ghost.
probably one of the most effed up Pokemon concepts ever.
I didn't even realize it was that crazy when I made it. I guess because the tone of the video was already crazy. Like the Pokemon before this in the video was even more scary. I guess it's time for Umbreon Libris.
So I'll talk about Stern.
What you got, man?
So
Please do.
I looked as far back as I could on your channel, and then it was all too good, and I just like nothing was coming to mind as something I had to redesign. So I opened your Instagram and literally scrolled to the bottom and started
Oh,
like,
wow.
All of these are terrible.
well, it was definitely not terrible, but yeah, it was a little easier to find something.
There was
So
a big
this-
jump. There was a big jump in quality somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, I love Londojo.
Londojo.
A fighting type Pokemon that piles clothes onto itself to like
Oh, now the name makes sense. Actually, after reading the Pokedex entry, it actually seems like this thing would have its own like multiple forms instead of
increase
levels.
its body weight and like train its muscles that way. That is such a good idea. I have, you know, a few problems with it, but there is one in particular, and it is called Tangrowth.
Oh my god.
Totally forgot about that guy.
Oh no.
Oh crap.
Londojo looks like a convergent Tangrowth, but not intentionally.
So you're saying one of my favorite old designs looks like one of my favorite older Pokemon?
To me,
I guess so.
Londojo doesn't look like a Pokemon that has a bunch of fabric on top of it. It looks like a short, pudgy Pokemon with like 2 or 3 pieces of fabric on it.
Ooh.
There you go.
Yes.
Oh, there we go.
I like the added color.
Color was definitely something that I felt needed to change, because if this Pokemon is stealing clothes from hampers and clotheslines, it's not always going to be able to get the same color. So
Yeah.
it would have to
be
get,
mixed.
True.
you know, things that don't necessarily match all the time. I actually looked up like with the most common colors of clothing, and then I added the beige so that it like you have the jeans and the khaki pants.
It wasn't always beige.
You know,
Oh.
it has underpants on its head because it needed something to make it like a little bit funny and endearing.
Oh, what's the butterfly? Vivillon?
Vivian.
I can totally see Vivian being
Right.
being one of those where it's like you can get all the different patterns of clothing.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Ooh, but
It
how
had-
would you actually
like
do
the
that?
actual creature underneath, it probably has arms, but its arms are not where those swinging fists are. So I imagine that when it's at rest, this is probably what it looks like.
Aww. Like it just swings the
But I
arms
love that
around.
like the ends are
Like a wacky waving arm inflatable tube man.
fists, but they're also like balled up fabric. And so it
Yeah,
has this heaviness. I love it.
Some of my favorite.
I am too.
Some of my favorite arms in a Fakemon design. I guess like because it's unique, but it makes total sense. Like
I love these arms so much. Yeah.
He can give crazy hugs or snap your spine, but you're gonna be comfy either way.
Yeah.
I mean, you can really turn sheets into like a weapon. Like if you really ball it up, it does hurt when you hit with it.
I love
Yeah,
using
it adds mass.
stockpile and just getting more laundry.
I mean, it
on
just
top of
compresses
itself.
that mass.
Yeah.
This would just be a straight up like it's a Pokemon with its own identity. It just works. It's like a niche that has been filled in the Pokemon world. And now it's my turn. True Green 7.
Ooh,
I'm gonna redesign
alright.
Fruipi's Glacier.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool.
Honestly, definitely a kind of Pokemon that
An ice fire triceratops.
I would want to see. Question: what kind of what dinosaur is this based on?
This is based on a Pachyrhinosaurus.
Yeah.
Ooh,
so
okay.
I was
Okay.
like, I don't know what that is. Let me just make it not that.
Okay, good. I was like, so just me who doesn't know what we're talking about?
It's funny
Okay.
that I did show it to Virgo after I even redesigned it, and she's like, it's a Pachyrhinosaurus, whatever you said. I'm like, oh.
Well, damn.
Oh, that's not what I did. Basically, the original I thought wasn't cohesive enough. It's clear that like the fire and the ice parts are kind of separate. It makes sense where like the parts that have are radiating heat don't have the snow anymore. But I guess I'll try to make it more clear. It's similar in terms of like the configuration, but it's a completely different vibe. A fire dinosaur that has ice on it. I feel like that's my problem with it. And when you think of Primal, you
Oh, you know what? This would actually be kind of an interesting one to have in game because, as we all know, fossil Pokemon will always be rock type because they're found in fossils. But if we were to have a Pokemon fossil found in, say, ice, excuse me, that would now add in an ice Palmer type. Oh, that would actually be really cool. I'm not even trying to make puns. Like, the ice isn't naturally there. No, it is only icy because of how the fossil was stored and revived.
can think of both Ice Age and Volcano, So I think that is the theme going on. This is mine. Glacier.
Ooh.
Oh, damn.
It feels more ancient instead of just like a modern dinosaur Pokemon.
That does feel
The
ancient.
like lava burning under the
Obsidian.
skin is awesome.
Thank you. I do like lava patterns.
Like, this is some
Yeah, it's a good lava.
obsidian shiz.
And then even like the dark
Also-
skin, it looks both like frostbitten but also like obsidian,
Yeah,
Well, and I think
exactly.
my favorite bit of the lava is like up on the frill. You've got one. I assume there's two marks. You just can't see it. In
Yeah,
the
there's two.
perspective. But like
Yeah,
in
there's
a
always
lot
two.
of paleo art, you see dinosaurs like this, ceratopsians, that have like faux eye patterns on their frills. And so I don't know if you did that intentionally, but it's very cool.
Yeah, it was based on like the patterns that they had. I mean, yours almost basically has one. I decided what
almost.
if that's where the heat radiated from, like these like oven-like circles, instead of I guess holes on the original one. And again, obviously, I made mine more like a Triceratops because I guess that is my
Yeah, a
favorite
regular
dinosaur, if I think-
Ceratopsian.
if I think about it, and I feel like it makes more sense with the like a sharp ice.
Like looking at the original, it does just look like it's a dinosaur that has some fire coming out of it and some ice on it. And in your version, the fire and ice parts still they're still like separate parts,
Yeah, but there's more of a
but they
transition
actually
between
feel
them.
like they belong to the Pokemon. Like I feel like seeing the lava cracks through the skin, that makes it like there is fire inside of it, and the ice being like fully around it and like encasing the entire face, that makes it seem like that's like
Well, a good
where it
chunk of the
belongs and
face
not just something
Still has
snowed
that shit.
and landed on there.
Something that I like in the original design is there's this like striking balance between these like harsh edges and then these rounded shapes, and I feel like Ron's takes that into account and continues it on. So there are a lot of like the areas where there's fire feels very rounded, like seeing the swoop of the tail that leads up into this pointed glacier, and like how the back and legs seem like swooped and rounded, but then there's this spike of the glacier on the back.
I guess the thing I did to make
Yeah,
it more
it's like a
cohesive was
spike.
basically that both the fire and ice have similar shapes. They're both like pentagons. I mean, the ice breaks
I mean, yeah,
pentagonally.
kind of.
The lava patterns are kind of a similar shape. And then also there's spiky ice while also having spiky rocks coming out of the obsidian that look like, the spikes on a dinosaur or lizard. Or
Oh,
anything
that's
like
what
that.
the horns
Instead of
are.
having the
Okay.
fire and ice
And
be
by horns, I
represented
mean
with
these
completely
things.
different shapes and textures, like in the original.
Yeah, I like yours are so much better though. With the lava, Yeah, that just reads really well.
That lava
And now it's
pattern
time
definitely
for
helps
start.
it.
It's time for me. All right, I'm gonna look at one of Libras's Pokemon,
Exciting.
and I'll
Okay.
start by saying, "You monster."
Wow.
I found
You
a
monster.
design, and I was like, "Oh, I love this design. I want to kind of Pokemon-fy it a little bit more and look at." And then it was like, "All right, what's it called?" And at the end, you say, "Anyway, I don't have a name for this thing. That's fine. We can do that." So I went with the second to the fully evolved version of this guy.
Yeah.
I love the nose on this guy. I love that it's such a
very
different
fat.
shape for like the head and
The
how the tail
nose, I
comes
mean.
in on this, and the fact that this was in the video. Spoilers if you haven't seen the video. I think it's 3 years old. Was you went off of the description of a Pokemon,
Yeah.
but didn't know what Pokemon it was, and it ended up being Nidoking. And so I actually went in and
Oh,
looked at
Nidoking.
the
Okay.
dex entries for Nidoking and kind of took everything that you had there and amped it up a little bit to give this here.
Yeah.
Ooh,
That's
that's pretty good.
And
Because
Oh,
I
go
thought I just thought the original wasn't bad. Like there was nothing wrong with it, except it just needed to be judged. It needed to have a little more oomph, you know. So
Yeah, you gotta put
that's
some
literally what you
paprika
did.
on that.
Cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. Like there was nothing wrong with it, and that's why I'm bad at this challenge because I kept finding stuff, and I'm like, I love this design. Oh wait, I'm not supposed to do that.
Yeah, that's a
That is
downside.
tough. That's because you have to find a design that you actually like something about it. That is tough.
No, but you did it. Like that is basically what I was going for, but a lot more Pokemon-like.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I wanted to slim down some of the aspects of it. So whereas you have all these tons of spikes all about it, I wanted to say like, okay, what if we kind of
Like Dave was saying, this is definitely more Pokemon. This looks more like something you'd see in, I don't know, something like Oathbound.
that down to very specific
Or even
placement.
Chrono Trigger,
And so
I
I
don't
wanted
know.
to do that, simplify it a little bit.
Some
change the
JRPG.
color of the skin area to be a little bit lighter, to almost feel like it's more so a Pokemon wearing armor that is its quills. So just differentiating up the color a little bit to add that separation of texture of skin to claw.
I guess the original one doesn't have a lot of shapes.
That's a good
it's
thing.
not made up of a lot of shapes, and yours looks like a Pokemon because of that. The redesign.
Yeah.
Do you know what a prehensile tail porcupine sounds like?
Yeah, I was thinking
you-
of the sounds the whole time when I was.
Yeah, but like with
Thinking
this
about what?
angry little face now, it's hilarious because they're like, "Meow, meow, 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 meow." So yeah, I think it's whether intentional or not.
Like,
I think it makes that so much funnier. The idea of this thing being like a squeaky little grump. Yeah.
Well, I also had the challenge of having to come up with a potential name for this Pokemon. Where I was like, what would, because yeah, you know the sound. I was like, what kind of sound would it make? Well, what kind of name would it have? And I came up with the take it or leave it. I came up with the name Scorpreen,
Scorpion.
like score, Scorpreen, to score something, as well as like
Oh.
preen, like animals that take care of their fur or their feathers very well.
To score actually means to scratch. It's also a term used in ceramic making.
Part of my process when I have a new idea is that usually my first sketches are much more like naturalistic proportions.
Yeah, same.
And then I have to iterate it like over and over and over again to make it more cartoony, more like Pokemon. And so like obviously at the time I felt that I got to a decent place with that one. But like what you did was just like take a few iterations beyond that to the point where like, okay, now it actually feels like Pokemon.
That's what I was going for.
Oh, we're making Pokemon? It's great. If you show
It's
like the
greatly done.
original literal animal, like a drawing of the literal animal, it is as if you're seeing like a transition from the literal animal to Libras's original design and then to the final
And then
Pokemon,
Pokemon, yeah.
looking design. Now it's time for the final round. Time for Froop. Time to Froop.
All right.
I mean, the thing about Pokemon is that it's literally just pick a real world animal, pick something not with it, fuse, bam, Pokemon.
Okay, so the last person I've yet to hit is Libris. Do you remember this cute little bug line?
The 21st night of December.
I do remember it.
Whoa,
basically-
I love this.
I saw something on Twitter that was just like a photo of this caterpillar, and then I I just tweeted out like, this is a Pokemon waiting to happen, and then I did it.
Just did the 2 pre-evolutions. Just like another super quick pass at
Aw.
them. So this is them. Also, they don't have
So
names because
cute.
Libris doesn't like to name all his stuff.
What's up with that?
I don't
Come on, man.
So
I don't think it's that important.
Dude, I made one Fakemon in my life, and I actually did name it. I can't remember what I named it. and all I was going for was like a possessed Rubik's Cube.
That's fair. I'll back you up on that. That's fair.
I told you he's a monster.
It's a very simple
I
fake
love
mon.
that cocoon.
Yeah, the cocoon's very nice.
Love that
so-
cocoon.
And that was the whole thing that I love about your design is like how cosmic it feels, like the galaxy pattern. I just like fell in love with it.
So we get to see a window into the cocoon.
Exactly like a
Oh,
chrysalis.
that's what
So
it is. A
you
window into the future.
can see a little photo of the caterpillar itself on the right side. It's
Oh, whoa,
So
that is scary.
beautiful.
the colors are tweaked on that. It's sometimes a little bit more brown, but like those colors are so good. And Libris knew it. Like you got to use those colors. It read too much as a butterfly to me. I like the kind of pill shape of a moth body, the kind of their fuzziness. It kind of flows together a little bit more. So we did a new
is it
shape
a
for
moth?
that. I made sure to keep like
Yeah, I
I
guess
love
it
the
is.
eye patterning that goes throughout the whole line. Like maintaining that on the wings was super important. Maybe it's silly, but like this feels like I want it to be a pseudo legendary. Like I want this to be
Sure.
big. Yeah,
Oh.
maybe I'm crazy, but I want this
Look at that name, Astroloth.
to be like a big, majestic bug.
It's crazy that we don't have a moth Pokemon with like the theme of nighttime or like stars.
Right? That's
How is
yeah.
that possible?
It's true.
A
Oh my
moth
god,
of
the eyes are
space.
so unique. Sheesh.
Beautiful.
I mean, like to me, this is basically.
Oh, wait, hold on. One thing I want to point out real quick is that when you look at the remake, the redesign, and the wings and part of the antenna are not outlined, and they're just inked. Like, and parts that are solid, like the body, the eyes, these parts of the wings, and the top of the antennae, those are actually outlined. But the rest is not. It's just painted. Ooh!
a completely new Pokemon that just
Okay.
happens to use my Pokemon as inspiration, and
Thank
it's
you,
just like, so
Popcroft,
much
for
better.
teaching me that.
But like, it was. I probably.
I know he's not a part of this video, but he was the first one I saw actually do something like this, so now I can catch it.
one of the first Fakemon that I designed and put on my channel.
Really?
And this was one where like he did this all in one art stream. He just sat down and knocked out all three. Again, didn't name them.
I love what you did with the eyes on the wings, because like, yes, the pattern is there, but it's like kind of inverted a little bit.
These are such unique wings. Like,
Yeah.
they're so cool
I
and
love
unique. I love that
this.
they're almost like silhouetted with just this night sky to them. Almost makes me think of like if you remember Chowder, how they would do
Yeah.
textures on
Oh,
stuff.
I remember
Where
that.
it would, like
show.
characters
I
would
watched
move,
it
but the texture
3
would stay
times.
stagnant in the background layer.
Yeah.
I know that I took it way farther away from the original design than I should have, but
No, you did the right thing.
Hopefully that's what the final round is.
Well, that's a good segue to mine if we're ready to move
Oh,
on.
okay,
Yeah,
here we
let's
go.
go.
Like I said, I went as far
Feels
back
number
as I
10.
could, and this is for Ron. Oh, I think I went even to something that is not really a Fakemon video.
What?
Oh,
What
yeah?
does that even mean?
It
Oh, it's from like.
So here's a childhood photo of Ron.
It's possibly the first or the earliest video with Fakemon in it
But it
that is
wasn't a
on
fake
your
one,
channel.
yeah. Oh.
oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Okay, I remember
How
these.
have I not redesigned this? I thought I did, but I didn't. That's crazy. Basically,
The
my friend guessing
plug.
if these Fakemon are real or not. But
Yeah, real or fake?
this is technically already a redesign of something that I made like as a child. So now it's time to redesign
Oh.
it. Again, I consider that
Yeah,
an
okay.
actual Fakemon video. So I consider that the first
Okay.
video when I made digital Fakemon art, basically. Because there was a video where I showed like a school project like on in the first year of my channel. That
Oh,
was,
okay.
like just drawn on
Oh.
paper. This is the first Fakemon video.
So
Okay.
this is called Zap Plug, and it's clearly
The plug.
an electric plug. And my problem with it is that
Oh, you could call it either the plug or zap lug.
that's it,
Okay.
Yep.
right? Like, and I think it makes sense because like the point of the video wasn't to make Fakemon; it was to just like draw something that could conceivably be a Pokemon. And
Yeah,
so like
just make
it's
it
like
believable.
a shallow design. It looks great. Like it's an adorable electric plug Pokemon. Like
I
what
really
direction do I
like
take
it.
this in? Because there's so
So
many
cute.
options. Like I can make it more abstract, and I actually have like some really rough sketches of just like
Oh.
ideas of
Ooh, what
where
the-
I could take this, and I'll share them. So this is just like I can make it. I can make it more. I can make it just like
Ooh,
more
okay.
abstract. Like,
Like
lean
a
into
boss
this
with a feel.
electric plug sprite. Kind of like a
plug
Rotom
sprite,
type of
okay.
thing, but make it make it a little bit more abstract.
It looks more like an animal, like it looks like a maybe rabbit a little bit, or like a jerboa or something like that. It looks instead of just a little
Yeah.
plug. Yeah.
Or I
alright.
could like add another layer to it and like still keep it like it is a plug, but like make it also something else that's specific. My first idea being a beetle.
Oh, a
really good.
beetle.
And it's just like, it is exactly the same
Okay.
design. If you're like looking top down, it's basically exactly the same design as your original, but now it's a beetle.
I guess, yeah.
And
Beetle.
so
I like
the
it.
one that I landed on is even more radical a
Oh.
redesign than this, and even more radical than what Fruity did as well.
Okay. That is a completely different.
Oh, what the? It's a ball now. Oh.
That is funny because I guess the bug, even though it looks really cool, we already have like a very similar line of Pokemon
Vicable.
like that, right?
Exactly.
Grubbin,
Exactly.
Charles
So
the Bug.
that was the reason I ended up choosing a different idea in the end,
It's
is
a
because
ball.
like design-wise, it would be fairly close to like Grubbin. Theming, it would be fairly close to Vikavolt, and so it's just like maybe I can make a different animal
I see
work,
Vikavolt.
as a plug.
True.
And so yeah, a little pig.
It's hard to critique because like I'm just gonna basically critique it as this is just a good Pokemon on its own, basically. You know, like
Yeah.
this is just a really good Fakemon.
Yeah,
I'll
it's a
Point
good
out,
interpretation.
Like, the way that you reinterpreted
I mean, it went from a plug to a ball.
kind of the double section eyes into an eyebrow and eye, and then like the
Oh,
mouth is
yeah,
a
that is
nose,
Yeah.
and the plugs are tusked, and even this kind of razorback pattern that was kind of on the original, but like accentuating
Kind
that.
of.
I am really impressed.
Now it's,
It's
like
a gosh
3D
darn
sticking
good
out.
Pokemon, good Fakemon, honestly.
It makes me think of that like Jigglypuff but seen from above type of
Yeah,
stuff.
Oh
Where
god.
it's like, what is
That's basically what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, what if you turn the Pokemon around? What is it now? Like, and it's so good. It's so cute.
Oh, I like
Ah!
the size of it. I like how small it is.
It's just
Oh, I can actually imagine that. Like the Electabuzz is just walking about doing its own thing, and then suddenly it feels something ram into its back, like, and it turns around, rubbing its back, and it sees this, and it just looks up at him like, plug?
Electivire has the plug shape on its back. It's just too perfect.
Yeah.
Natural predator.
It's a really good concept art. I don't know, there's something about the from the back. I just like it a lot.
It shows off how closely related, like how close the designs are. It
Yes.
shows it off better, like when you're seeing it from above.
Literally
Yeah.
the same, I guess, silhouette from that angle.
It's really
This
good.
is similar to like beta forms, where like mine is like like Game Freak betas, at least for the first few generations, they're a little too literal, not a lot of inspiration to them. It's like literally just like a koala or literally just a plug, while yours is like the final, what it ended up being,
Yeah,
even though it's
like, beta
the concept
concept,
changes so
final.
much, like how those beta forms, like the concepts, and they ended up being completely different than the beta forms. Even honestly, its nose looks like
Baby
an outlet.
forms.
I considered making it more like directly an outlet.
So it is, I guess, yeah, pig makes so much sense for this. But I guess it's time for.
Yeah.
Oh, it's me.
Hey!
Wait, is it me?
Yeah, number
Yeah,
11.
okay, I guess we're almost done. This one is the
Yeah,
most
number
drastic
11.
as well. Wow, we're all just doing really drastic ones. And yeah, it was really tough to find a stern one because I guess there's two eras to your Fakemon art. There's like the early COVID, and then there's your modern channel Fakemon, I guess. And I didn't know that the early COVID Fakemon existed. All the ones on your channel, I went through all the videos on your channel. I'm like, all these are fine. All these are fine to amazing, right? Like I
Good,
can't.
good,
what a
good,
sure.
fine,
Yeah.
great.
Like why'd you
good.
do that?
Example,
Oh,
I
you
need
look and you're
something
like, oh, he's
at
got like
least a
he's got
little
like
bad.
500 videos. I can go through all these, and you realize like these are all within 6 months.
No.
And I guess this one's from like 2021 or something, maybe 2020. I do not remember. Definitely when we were taking, COVID seriously. I guess that's why you made like a medicine Pokemon.
Oh,
Huh?
I hate this thing. Yeah, go ahead.
Betrothed.
What am I looking at?
Exactly.
I don't
know.
even remember
Yeah,
this one.
explanation.
What is even the inspiration? I don't know.
I wasn't taking drawing Pokemon seriously. I was like, whatever, we'll see. And I was like, wouldn't it be cool to do a new nurse Pokemon for
Yeah,
my
that's
region,
what I thought you
for
did.
my world? I'm looking at it as I'm talking, and I hate looking at him.
So yeah, it's your own version of Audino and Chansey. According to your
Oh,
decks,
okay.
it has zippers on its belly, but it's like, and that would be, for an average Pokemon, that would be like a big deal. Like that would be a huge part of its design. Like the zipper Pokemon, like it has pouches and zippers, and this one, it doesn't even look like that. It doesn't look like it
Yes.
has anything, but like the Pokedex entry has interesting lore. So I'm like, no, let's make zippers actually prominent and make it.
It's like what happened if you would take Shuckle's ability to turn berries into berry juice and threw it into a blender with Chansey or Blissey.
The zipper Pokemon, basically, But the number one aspect
Not
is that, like,
design-wise,
if
I
you're
mean,
gonna make
disability.
a Pokemon Center Pokemon like the previous two, Why are we gonna do another one that's also?
That would actually be great. Like if you give it a berry that can heal a status condition, and walk around with it for a bit, eventually it turns that into like a shop item. That would be the same thing. Like it turns damn it, I can't remember the name of the raspberry that heals burns into a burn heal.
So like happy
Boom!
and pink and whatever.
Oh,
Why
I
not make
like
one that
that
is,
idea
has a
now.
completely different personality than Audino and Happy, but it's still very caring and giving. And even Revitalk sounds more like brutal. It sounds like, because again, it's a poison type, so it sounds like a brutal name. So I feel like mine looks like a Revitalk a little bit more.
Yes!
Ooh,
yeah.
what the?
I love Pokemon with that kind of contrast, where it looks scary, but it's actually a very, very friendly Pokemon.
Okay,
This
no,
is something that is not
interesting.
known about punks in general, but punks are very caring.
That's true. That's true. Exactly. It's
That is like super important to punk culture.
oh, you're right.
Hey,
you're
I
right.
need a safety pin. They're like, here, let me pull out one of the 30 on my pants. And you're like,
It's like,
awesome.
yo man, I
thank
gotcha.
Well, obviously, I did expand on the pouches, so it has like a bunch of pouches. I guess he kind of looks like a drug dealer, because again, he's a medicine. He looks like he would be in the alley, dealing something. But again, no, he's a legitimate guy. He's in the Pokemon centers, but also in the alleys.
Yeah. But also in the alleys,
And that's why also it
You'd
very
be
much
Dylan
looks
and
related to, I
Dylan.
guess, like Scrafty. But I love making Pokemon that are related to other Pokemon, like biologically.
He's a
like
drug dealer,
this.
but he also does have his doctorate. Like, it's...
Yeah.
I love it. Oh my
Dr.
gosh,
Punk.
because I hate my Revitalk
Punk
so much.
Doctor.
And I love that he's wearing original Revitox's skin.
Yeah.
Oh
So
man.
I dig it. I love the shiny
You skinned them alive! Hey, now I just took off my skin.
is Terapagos colors.
Oh wow, yeah, wow. Ooh.
Oh, it is!
I mean, he could again
Wow,
be an
exact
evolution of
same
yours. Like he just
blues.
comes out of the skin, sheds it, and then.
No, I wouldn't want him to have anything to do with that horrible, horrible thing that I did.
I love how you've basically kept exactly the same body shape, and yet it's a completely different design.
And I like that you kept his weird socks,
Like,
which
you
if
can
I recall
almost
correctly,
tell
with
this
my
is not
Revitox,
the
I
same
wanted them to
mod.
look like those socks that they give you at the hospital, and so I'm glad
Oh,
that
they
you
do. Yeah.
that you kept that aspect of it without even
okay.
realizing what those were a reference to. Well, and adding in that green was such like I don't know if you felt the same way, like such a gamble having that yellow on like the stomach and the socks and the head, like it ties it all together. That yellow you really gave purpose to.
It is a
And
pretty
I
good
like,
yellow.
because you could have gone. I'm assuming you maybe thought about it for a second, like going a purpley plummy to bring in the poison type.
Yeah.
But I really like that you went with green,
Yeah,
so
the,
that it
the green is honestly just better to bring in poison.
really you get the dichotomy between those two typings more than if you had just done pink and purple.
I
Right.
guess it's time for Stern. Finish us off.
Alright,
All right,
number
I'm gonna finish this off with
12.
fruit.
The
Fruity
last.
guy. And so I went as far back as I could find. Man, your Instagram is packed. I found this Pokemon.
Ah, yes. Okay.
Oh,
good.
remember seeing
Illness.
Boldness.
And again, I'm terrible at this because I was like, I love this design. Why do I pick it? So I went in and I will say this because I know we've been talking about like, oh, everyone's going super far out with their designs. I didn't go too far. I didn't stray too far. I just kind of cleaned it up, made it more Pokemon-esque, made the colors more vibrant.
Nice.
Huh.
Wow. This is the most similar
Why
of
does
all.
it feel like it's
Yeah,
been
I know.
done
I was really
before?
worried when you guys were like, man, we're
I
going
know,
crazy
I
on
know it's a redesign, but something feels like I've seen this.
the last ones. I was like, yeah, uh-huh. Yeah,
never mind. Just
so
moving on
did-
from it.
Kind of expanded those gloves to feel more like pizza oven type paddles and cooking glove type things. I love,
Yeah,
I love
okay.
this boy's thick thighs.
Damn, boy, he thick.
Very hefty boy. I dig him. I
Damn,
dig
I
his
got
little bowl
hiccups
cut.
now.
I dig the face that you came up with was so unique and interesting.
This was from so long ago that I did not really understand how to color line art yet. So just you coloring the dang line art makes it look so good. Also, I'm glad that you kept the like thighs thick and whatnot. So she's a lady.
Damn it, Stern, you misgendered the oven.
She's based on Venus.
Yeah, Venus statues, fertility statues, and also
Oh.
like kilns and whatnot as well.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
But yeah, love it.
I love the shapes of the thighs, like that extra like bulge or whatever it is. Almost
I don't
looks
know what
muscular.
inside of it. It is
works-
pretty
it's
nice.
very nice.
Completely unintentional on my part, but
If it wouldn't bun me, I'd give it a hug.
I designed something that, in my brain, right, it is symmetrical.
Yeah, I was
so
gonna say
it has
that.
an arm on there, but I am a sucker for any asymmetrical designs. So the fact that you have something asymmetrical, it makes me very happy.
The asymmetry feels a lot more interesting So I went with that and kind of cut that section out. Because like I said,
Yeah,
I have
literally.
a pizza oven that we built in our backyard, and it's constantly falling apart. It's a fire hazard at the current moment.
Sounds like it.
So having something that feels chipped and these little sections kind of falling away, I was like, feels about right for that same type of thing. I also widened out those areas there. I did not know that it was based off of the Venus, but once you mentioned that, I was like, I totally see it. So I'm glad that I didn't change
the Venus, as in the statue.
the body shape to be
Okay.
like, what if we make it sexier? You know, type of look. You know,
I
with
did
the
get
sand
the slightly like she's cuter than the original. The original one in the end is slightly
Yeah.
more masculine, and it just worked out that way.
I'm sorry, I don't have very much to comment on because, as we've already covered, it's basically
Better?
the same but better.
It's like if Smoochum wanted to cook you.
Alright everyone, well that's going to be the end of today's video, and I hope you all enjoyed this. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Link to the original will be in the description below, and I'll see you next time when we flick back on. Till then, this is Fox, signing out. Peace.